Over the last few months, I quit music at least 5 times. Even told my closest friends that I was transitioning to explore different routes and options for myself as a brand. And if you follow me and see how deeply I'm involved in the sneaker world, circulating those rooms and everybody always asks me if I still rap, the house music started to really affect me deep down. And that's mostly because I didn't feel like a rapper anymore. I didn't look at my peers as competition anymore. I didn't get jealous anymore. I didn't care about the views.
Boston, proud to be a Yankee and you looking like Boston. Giant City Patriots, why you Randy Mossy? Your record means shit if you lose your fortune. Hit after hit, man, your boy still scorching. Still on the block, man, the heart ain't lost. Bait ass niggas get left in the harbor. Feeling like Rocky Antonio Tarver. Whack ass boss, you will have to come harder. Cause you couldn't see lines this sharp from a barber. Your boys ain't like me, I stay while they tight. Cause the only club I party in is Flight. Wearing 2-3s, got me looking like Mike. See me in the dark, but I'm looking like Light. Clown ass niggas bad mouthing my shit, you can tell them I said it. Suck my.
Gucci was here, she was here, she was here.
Going against the world. What if I fight and I win? Going against the world. What if I fight and I win? Going against the world. What if I fight and I win? Going against the. I done been to more funerals and I feel comfortable saying sometimes I lie to myself. That shit mentally draining, I wanna live better, but I ain't good at no saving, don't wanna miss opportunities. What I say when I'm craving seems like I'm working for nothing, but my grind is amazing. Read every self-help book, I be stressed that I'm aging. Almost 30, I feel it. Emotions, I spill it. Speculation of quitting, we could all the way kill it. You know the odds been against us, trying to paint me the villain, but I'm a hero the most. To that we can toast on something expensive, top shelf where I'm at. They gon' ask what you do, then they gon' cringe that you rap. How many other opportunities make you rich when you black? But they gon' shun you for that. They want you working for scraps, want you working for them, or part-time at the Gap. And I ain't with all that, I'm just facing my facts. Going against the world. What if I fight and I win?
Yo, Think This Podcast, episode 176. George, Greg back in the building. We have a special guest on the phone, but before I get to that, I want to give out 2 shout-outs, which I said I would. Quick shout-out to Dandon Canless. He's a listener to the podcast. He always sends me ideas and stuff for the show, so shout-out to him. And a huge shout-out to Ro. She's at eatlikedeathrow _. She is a phenomenal artist who does a lot of the sneaker stuff with sushi and food. She got selected to be in the Art of Sneakers book volume 1, and I'm super excited for her. She's a super cool person, and you could pre-order the book at theartofsneakers.com. Support new creators, original creators, and creators who are great at their creations. Jeez. Speaking of creators, man, people don't understand how hard podcasts are. Like, I'm not gonna tell the listeners what just happened, but speaking of creators, I'm very excited to have Jay Tips on the line. You know, he's somebody who was recommended to us numerous times. You know, he's definitely one of our top 3 people who are recommended for us to get on the podcast. We appreciate you coming on and hanging out with us.
Oh, anytime, man. I appreciate you guys for having me, man.
You know, like I was telling George earlier about the music, I said, man, I want to do a dope intro for this song because your music I thought was phenomenal. I just started getting into it. I'll be honest with you, when people introduced me to your IG page and social media, I didn't know you did music. Once I got into it and started listening, I was like, this music is dope. It's fire. All right. So real quick, once Jay Tips, where you from and everything like that, if you don't mind.
Yeah, I'm from the Boogie Down Bronx. You know, if you're familiar with me or you're going to get to know me, you know, I wear my Yankee hat proud, you know. So, you know, my family originally is from down south, but, you know, they moved up here to, you know, try to just, you know, give the family a better lifestyle. And, you know, I've been blessed to just, you know, just continue the way and, you know, pave the way.
You might as well just start where you were asking about that, telling the song that you like the best, and then we'll just go from there.
Okay, so I talked about, you know, how on the Savior, one of my favorite songs is, you know, Against the World. And And at first I was like, I was like, why did he put that as the very last song? But then I kind of understood it. You know, it kind of like flowed well with the album, and that was sort of like the conclusion of like you against everybody.
Yeah. The funny thing about Against the World is me working on 12 projects, and I always felt like my strongest point, probably even more than just the bars, has always been just to synchronize the album. Like, I feel like I'm so much more comfortable putting together a few songs than just putting one song out on SoundCloud or something and telling you to check it out. So Against the World, in my opinion, like, until the album was about 90% done, Against the World was probably going to be the first song. But it just, like, it didn't sound good to me as the second song. It didn't sound good as the third song. To me, it didn't have any other place. But when I made it the last song, for anybody who listens to the album again, it almost sounds like it's the first song again. You know what I'm saying? So, that was like the best place I found for it, because it didn't feel like a middle of the album song. I feel like it'd take you to a place where it's like it's hard for you to go up or go down from there. So I wanted to just end it the right way.
Is that typical with a lot of albums in general? I mean, we're on here interviewing people who have to do with sneakers and whatnot and don't get a lot of recording artists, but you find that is the case. You record something and you think it might fit somewhere, but it fits somewhere at the end.
Yeah, it happens a lot. Sometimes I think that there's points when there's songs that everyone loves, but I was moments away from trying to make a decision and say, well, this might not make it. Just because I think there's just certain things that change the frequency. It changes the mood too drastically. Like, I see sometimes artists or other artists, they have interviews online and stuff, and they say, like, my hit single, like, I just didn't feel like it belonged with everything else. It's almost like when you like that marble that just, stands out because it's a different color.
Right.
So it's like I knew the greatness, and sometimes the greatness in some songs, but it's like around other things, sometimes it just doesn't have the same impact.
Do you record more than you anticipate putting on an album just to have extras, or what's that thought process for you?
Yeah, I have a home studio, so so a lot of times recording is like you kind of feel right away whether you're gonna be, if this is the one or this is something that I want to put more time into. So a lot of times the songs that I do get to finish, or I write the second verse and I come up with a chorus, are songs that I really already see the potential for. But I do record so much. Like, if we were to hang out and I just went through my hard drive, you would probably hear so many like 4-bar verses, so many just a chorus but nothing else.
Right.
Like, or just like a beat. You just hit a beat in the session and be like, oh, how come you didn't rhyme on this? But after I heard it out loud, I didn't feel the same way, so I didn't even write to it. So recording is a mess. But a lot of times I try to find different strategies. Like, does this song sound like an intro? Does this song sound like a hit? Does this song sound like a video should belong to it? Stuff like that. And then I like to build that way. Like, it's almost like shuffling cards. Like, all right, I got a song that I could perform here. I got a song that someone can listen to on like a flight or a plane or a train or something like that. I got some girl music. I got some slow music. I got some very, very introspective music. All right, now the album's done.
Gotcha.
I like to have like a nice little shuffle.
See, I like that mix. Like, I like that thought process of like where people can listen to stuff. See, we always do when me and George talk about sneakers, and we talk about like sneakers that we like and top 10s or whatever the case may be. I like to like go for like a sneaker that I can hang out in, sneaker I can hoop in, sneaker I can do this in. Like, I like that thought process that you put into making your albums. So you being from New York, how has the sneaker culture evolved? Since you've been involved in it heavily.
I always give myself credit for being a part of, I feel like, every single phase of sneaker culture.
Right.
So it's like I started off by being like on the verge of getting kicked out of my house, because it's like it's either you're gonna go back to school or you're gonna get a job. So my first job was working at Foot Locker, and after Foot Locker, it's like you still wanna to exist in this world. So it's like, I'm still trying to get every shoe that's worth something, and now all the way up to being a part of like media and stuff like that, and now even getting a chance to design. New York has changed in that way too. Like, it's my peers you also see go through the same phases. You see people who grew up on Dunks, then they went to Jordans, then they went to basketball, Nike basketball, and now they're wearing like Raf Simon Adidas or they're wearing like church shoes and stuff like that, and very, very like hippie-ish and stuff like that. So it's so many different phases. Like even you see people that you used to be their plug, now they're big time reseller or something like that, or even people that I used to help get shoes now have collaborations in the marketplace and stuff like that. So New York City is just so endless when it comes to just where you're going to end up on the other side of this sneaker journey. Like I don't feel like anybody in New York stays where they are. Like nobody just stays let me go to Foot Locker on Saturday and continue to buy my favorite shoe. It's either you're going to start selling it, you're either going to be bringing people with you, you're going to start like some bots, or you're going to stop selling sneakers and go to Supreme, or you're going to so you're going to be a part of just something in a different way. Start working at Flight Club, Stadium Goods, Round 2, or be like a StockX junkie or something like that. Or, you're going to give up and say, Nike's hiring. Let me try to get a 40% discount or something like that. But it's like if you really love sneakers in New York City, everybody just evolves in a different way, and it's some good, some bad.
So a lot of people don't know that you do the weekly like sneaker drops for Jimmy Jazz, and I know that has to be a dope feeling to walk into a Jimmy Jazz and seeing you on the television screens on loop presenting the weekly drop sneakers. How did you build that relationship with Jimmy Jazz and get that going?
So I guess the person that brought me on was another rap artist. That was his manager. So all the years that passed, just me just being so reputable when it came to just, I guess, sneakers, the moment he had an opportunity to, really point in somebody's direction for who should be consideration for this show, he reached out to me. He seen something I did on my Instagram that was like a sneaker skit for like YouTube. I did maybe like a year back, and he thought I was perfect. And within a year, within like a week, I was already like on Jimmy Jazz's Instagram, and my follower count was going up, and just so many different things. And it's a blessing because, I grew up, going into stores like Jimmy Jazz, or it used to be a big store in New York. I'm not even still sure if it's open, called Dr. J's and stuff like that. My mom used to take me and ask the sales associate, like, yo, if there's anything new, like what's new, and that used to be how I got back to school kicks or Christmas kicks and stuff like that. Like, that was my only outlet. So now to just be able to walk in stores and people's like, yo, you look familiar, I recognize you from somewhere, and it's like, yeah, because I'm on the TV that's behind your cash register. And stuff like, it's an overwhelming feeling, especially when, people who look like me and people who have a presence in the sneaker community, everybody just assume as a big dog reseller or something. Like, no, I'm not coming in here to see if you have any more shoes left. I'm just coming in because I see myself on the screen. I just want to take a picture for my Instagram.
Right.
Do they now? Who chooses? Because I've been going through the Instagram a little bit. Do you get to choose what shoe you are? What do I want to say?
Introducing.
There you go.
Reviewing.
Yeah. There we go. Reviewing. Do you get to pick it, or they tell you, or? They send me like a script over. They let me know, like, this is the shoe. This is the shoe. This is what we're gonna do and stuff like that. I've been trying to give my input, here and there. Like, it's a couple releases that, just me having knowledge, but I think I think we should talk about this one. I think this one would be pretty dope. Gotcha.
And stuff like that. But at the end of the day, Jimmy Jazz is expanding. They're definitely trying to change their culture a lot. Like if you go into Jimmy Jazz right now, it might look a lot differently than you remember. Like they're not a uniform store. Like Foot Locker is a uniform store. Like you can go, like you guys are in Arizona, you go to Foot Locker in Arizona. Foot Locker in Arizona looks like Foot Locker in Harlem.
Right.
And Foot Locker in Harlem looks like Foot Locker in Montreal, Canada. So Jimmy Jazz is like, if you go in a Bronx store, they have stuff about the Bronx and history of Bronx on the wall, Harlem, history of Harlem and stuff like that. Like there's a lot of attention to detail and stuff like that, but it's definitely been overwhelming, and even the process of reviewing the shoes is, they tell me the kind of like points that they want to do, and then I just get in the camera and I just refine it to my own knowledge and stuff like that. Like, and so I'm definitely been like surprising people with just my knowledge of just certain things, and definitely the descriptions of the shoe and stuff like that.
Oh yeah,
I feel like people like that a lot.
Yeah, like no, that's what I talked about earlier. Like I appreciate your knowledge of the actual parts and the pieces of the sneaker. Like I said, we watch plenty of reviewers and people who talk about sneakers, and they the bottom is blue, and the pull tab is gray. Knowing like the heel tab, the outsole, insole, midsole, and giving that descriptive message across. It makes the sneaker just that much little bit doper. Like and it's appreciated. Yeah. So one thing I do want to talk to you about is that about sneaker school. And, it's one of those things that we've seen come across our timeline. And a lot of sneakerheads were definitely skeptical about, like, the Yellow Brick, Complex, FIT collaboration, like sneaker school, and how it kind of rolled out. And I'll be honest with you, that was us for a little bit. But you actually participating in it, taking part in it. Can you talk to us a little bit about, like, what it's kind of done or what you took out of it or how it came about?
Yeah, so, if I probably discovered Yellow Brick through maybe you guys like trashing it or somebody else, maybe I would have had a different way of thinking. But someone actually was interviewing me, like they came to my house and they were telling me that after they interviewed me, they were going to interview them. So, and they was like, oh, you should check it out. So when I checked it out, it happened to be at a certain time in my life where I was doing like a lot of focus groups with Nike and trying my hardest to get on like the consulting side and, to be honest, just like, just trying to get some fucking shoes, like trying to figure out how to just get more in front, trying to get in front of them to like, like some type of influencer role or something like that. Cause I felt like, when you see the people that do get a lot of stuff online, you're like, what the hell are they giving this guy for? He can't even dress.
Right.
Why he got these thank you Nike notes and stuff like that on YouTube? You know what I'm saying? So,
facts.
I just wanted to get some type of certification or some type of qualified, and also me being an artist, as soon as you see Complex is, to me, in my opinion, the highest it gets when it comes to just music media,
right? Online,
like I came up in the blog era when it comes to music. So if you get on Complex, people are gonna be calling you and they're gonna notice it and stuff like that, and that's a pretty solid cosign. So when the Yellow Brick stuff, so when I looked into it, I got into it, and to be honest, it's like I started learning stuff that I never thought of. I thought that I was going to get into something where they were just going to be, drilling you about like very tedious, intro videos. Like I said, I used to work at Foot Locker, so sometimes they sit you in front of a video and they teach you about insoles and shoelaces for hours. So right. I didn't know if that was something I was going to walk into, but when you start going through like the knowledge of shoes, and I think everybody who's a sneaker collector or sneakerhead, they think they know everything. So when they break down like the history and it's not timed work, and they asking you about like toolings and the way shoes are constructed and the history of the factories and the warehouses and how brands started and what brand came first and stuff like that. That was stuff that I didn't know before. So I was kind of hooked from then. And to be honest, it's like it created a community, because I was somebody who I'm listening to these people talk that I've met in person, that I'm around, that I'm seeing, that I've seen speak at a panel, and when I finally got to even the media part of the course, they scrolled past the video on YouTube that I was featured in. You know what I'm saying? So it was very humbling to know that like there's other things that go into sneakers. There's other things that goes into making sneakers a career. Like one thing about Yellow Brick that I believed in so much when I really, really like started to get into it was, I grew up in my neighborhood and in high school and, having girlfriends and stuff. Everybody told me that sneakers wasn't a career. When I was getting posted on Nice Kicks, or when I was in like a Soul Collector magazine, or when I was laying on my sneakers in front of my house and taking a picture in front of it and stuff, everybody would just comment, when you think you can get all the love, people would just be like, yo, bro, sell those and buy a house, sell those and buy a car, sell those and do that. And I felt like Yellow Brick is trying to put something to let you know that sneakers is a career, whether they're just showing you different positions in the field, whether they're showing you different angles like media, or just telling you different stories of people's come-ups and stuff like that in the game, or where they came from, and just little things like for you to just off the top of your head think about like the course being named, like this course is about media, You know what I'm saying? Just to know that nobody, like, it came from a section in the Slam magazine, and it turned into something so big nowadays. Like, I remember that era where I used to collect, like, the East Bay books, and, you know, I used to take them out of people's mailboxes and, or, you know, or like rip the pages and hang them on my wall and circle the shoes I wanted and tell them to my mom and stuff like that. Like, I remember that so much. So for them to just, like, kind of recap that era and also follow the transitions of how it got to where it is and stuff like that, it's like, it brought something out of me, because I think a lot of people don't realize that there's another side to you know, really, really being about sneaker culture, like you guys, like having a podcast dedicated to it.
Right.
You know, there's things that you can really do besides trying to get every color off white, or trying to be at every single Complex Con or every single sneaker con, or you know, I feel like I'm so elite in the sneaker game, let me go get a table at this convention or something like that. There's so many different ways to really affect what goes into the marketplace, whether it's, you know, focus groups, whether it's you know, just pulling up the stores and talking to associates and stuff. And my background may not be like other people's background. When I worked at Foot Locker, I worked at the flagship store, so I was dealing with customers just as much as I was dealing with corporate heads, and, you know, they didn't really value your opinion just because they think, yo, you're gonna buy anything. You know what I'm saying? But it wasn't true. It wasn't true. It's like, you know, we want certain things, and I'm going to demand this quality. I'm going to tell you this quality. I'm going to tell you why this isn't selling, because at the end of the day, it's like, you can't piss on a sneakerhead and tell us it's rain.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We know this isn't the same. We know this glue isn't supposed to be like this. We know that type of stuff. And, you know, it's our duty to continue to push the issue, to let people know, like, we're paying attention to everything, and we're not just here for, you know what I'm saying? We're not just here just because you told us that you're open on Saturday.
So having the opportunity to consult for Nike, you know, and like I said, like, you know, sneakerheads, we do complain a lot. We know we complain a lot. And, you know, sometimes we feel like we're right in our ways, and you know, we don't know what goes into it. So you have an opportunity to consult with Nike. What did you get out of that, or be able to provide?
I think mostly just perspective. I think that a lot of us, just collectors or people who really, really love shoes, we find ourselves giving ourselves more credit than we might deserve, because a lot of us might share very, very similar opinions about certain things, but sometimes it's like to a designer, to a developer, to the story of how a shoe is going to return or stuff like that. Like, we're not always clear cut in what we expect or what we're even asking for. Like, sometimes, you know, you may be in a room where somebody's asking for, you know, the Total Foamposite Pro to come back in all white, but, you know, when they bring the shoe back and, you know, and it's on clearance and it's in outlets and stuff within 2 to 3 weeks, and everybody's complaining about the price point, but they sat in front of people who have crazy collections, and they all said, yeah, I'll pay the $225. But guess what? That's 4 people that have paid the $225. You know, four people is not really going to do a dent in a company that has, the only way they could bring a shoe back is if they make 1 million air bubbles. And if they make 1 million bubbles or airbags, if they make 1 million airbags, guess what? They have to figure out how to sell 1 million pairs, or even put 1 million pairs into production after a while. So it's like, say they do 100 white, now they got to do 100 black. And you know, everybody loves the silver, let's make 200 silver. But now it's like, what are we going to do with the other 500 and stuff like that? So it's very, very tough you almost appreciate they role too, because, you know, sometimes they take advice, but, you know, sometimes the consumer might not know what they want. So you got to really can't give people too much, you know, so you can't take too many outside voices before you really got to do the job.
Yeah, no, you're right, because, you know, like I said, we talked about, like, you know, those retros that we all grew up on, and, you know, you bringing up the Duncan like that, you know, it's funny, like the Total Foamposite, because we all loved it back then. We was in 7th, 8th, 6th grade. We loved it back then, and we still love it because we respect it and we had it, but us begging for it now, majority of us aren't wearing these anymore. Like, there's absolutely no way that I could walk down the street with how my jeans fit now and put on a Total Foamposite. It would be ridiculously huge on me now. So, you know, a lot of times, you know,
it'd be heavy.
Yeah, we understand. We say, like, yo, we want this back, Nike, bring it back. And they bring it back, and only a few of us pay for it for retail, I'll get it when it comes to the outlets. I'll catch it when it hits Kicks deals or something like that, and that happens a lot.
Yeah.
So how different is your love for music than it is for sneakers?
I'll say different. Like it's two kids. Like you love them different, but you still have a lot of love for them, and it's tough. It's tough to me because sneakers has always been my love. Music is something that eventually in life I began to really, really feel happy doing and comfortable doing. But I always told myself that I wanted music to get to a place. Like if I sat down with you and I told you my goals was let me get rich so I could buy more shoes. Let me get a sneaker collab just so I can get my own sneaker. Let me have a platinum selling record. Let me get a Grammy or whatever just so I can have a nice outfit at the award show.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So sneakers has affected my entire life, and it even still to this day, it's like it's been something that I've been obsessed with since a very young man. And a lot of times I just look at it like my mom's will tell me that I got a problem. My girlfriend will tell me that I got a problem. But then you get on the internet and everybody loves you for it. So it's been an up down. It's been an abusive relationship if you think about it.
Right.
So but it's been something that I appreciate. But when it comes to music, it's like I'm still super passionate about music. But at the end of the day, sneakers has been my first love since I was 4 or 5 years old. I was starting to walk down the street and look down at my feet and just watch the patent leather glisten or whatever it may be, making sure I didn't spill some of like an icy on my Air Force Ones or something like that at a very young age.
Yeah.
Wait, hold on. So that brings up a question because I asked Kristen Black this when she was on the show, and I think from now on, Greg and I are probably gonna have to ask this to every guest we have. So when you get a new pair, are you one in, one out, or do you keep everything?
What do you mean by that one in, one out?
Like do you force yourself to sell a pair to get a new one, or how do you determine your collection? I guess because some people they like to have like 60 pairs where it's like all nice stuff, and they like trade one to get a new one, and some people just collect everything.
Oh, but I feel like you just described like different phases of my life. I feel like everything you just brought up was just different versions of me. So I've been, when I was working at Foot Locker, I was buy anything I could get. I think the craziest thing that ever happened to me was to know that you could get shoes at a discount price. Like, and then when you see things on sale, it's like, wait, I can use my discount on the sale shoe too. So it's like I think that at that point in my life, I was buying everything. But when I transitioned into being more entrepreneur and stuff like that, it was definitely to, if I sold it for this price and I could afford it for this price. Like, if I buy two and I sell one, now it looks like I got the second one on discount.
Right.
Stuff like that. But now at this point in my life, I've just been trying to get just stuff that's comfortable, stuff that I really like, and high heat. Like it's probably no in between. Like everything that was like super nostalgic, like, oh my God, these flu games, I can't believe they're coming back out. All that stuff I don't even touch.
Right.
That's because it's like I've been in like the space where I want to be comfortable, and I want stuff that at the end of the day, if it's a rainy day, I can wear these off-whites, 25 times, and somebody will still give me above retail.
Yeah,
stuff like that. So I've been in that space.
We've been in that space for a while too, where it's like I can honestly say I feel like if they dropped a red one again, or black and red one, I really don't care. Like, we've had it so many times. We've had flu games. I've had flu games many times. It's like I don't need this anymore. I appreciate and I respect it because I had it when it first dropped. I love it. I understand the history of it. I watched the game, but I don't really need a flu game again. Like, I don't need it.
Yeah.
And
and I feel like I've been telling somebody recently, it's just like certain things just don't make me feel like I've matured. Like even sometimes some sneakers like Jordan 4s, Jordan 3s, sometimes just looking down at my feet, it makes me feel like high school again sometimes. Like it doesn't make me always feel like a grown up. Like it makes me feel like I'm flexing almost. Like it makes me feel like I went outside trying like a date night kind of shoe. And sometimes so I've been dealing with that too a lot. Like certain things make me feel like different points in my life. So it's kind of like, damn, I want to move on from there. I don't want to feel like 2012 right now.
You know, that's crazy because I talked about that on like a long time ago previous episode that like, I mean, growing up, college, high school, I had the most Mitchell and Ness jerseys ever. But I never stopped loving them. I still love them to this day. But then anytime I throw one on, I kind of feel mad ridiculous. Like, I got 3 kids and a wife, and I'm like almost pushing 40.
I think it depends on what it is, though. I mean, that like, what, I don't know if they're calling it what the 3 or whatever. I'm not a big Jordan 3 guy, but the pictures of that 3 that just came out, the one with all the different swatches of
was it 4
leather, suede, or whatever.
That Animal 3 or whatever that is. Yeah.
Have you seen? I'm assuming you've seen pictures of it, or maybe you've even seen it in Jimmy's
I've
ordering
seen,
a catalog
I
or
don't
whatever.
think I've seen a Jordan 3. What the?
No, it's like a Jordan 3, like an Animal one. It had like a bunch of safari prints on it.
It's got a different. It looks almost like a what the in terms of it having a bunch of different materials on it, or like a bunch of different. Doesn't it look like that? Maybe I'm not describing it right. I don't know.
It's like a safari to me, like an Atmos 3. That's what it looks like. But
because
oh yeah, I might have not seen those.
yeah.
So what I was saying is like going along with not wearing things that we did when we were younger or whatever. I think it kind of depends on what it is. Because when I saw that picture, I haven't bought a 3 since. I guess I bought black cement 3s, but then I ended up getting rid of them. But I haven't bought a 3 that I actually cared about probably since the last time black cement 3s came out, which was what, 2010, something like that.
Something like that.
Yeah, around that time, like 2010, 2011.
Yeah. But when I saw these pictures, I was like, oh, that might draw me back out to get back. So that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know if the jersey equivalent is an equivalent because it's not like I don't think one Super Fire jersey is gonna get you to go back. But with certain shoes, I don't think you can write them off all the way.
Because I see Mitchell and Ness posted a picture of a Vic jersey dropping. I need that Vic jersey,
man.
but I feel like I'm gonna feel ridiculous wearing it. But I need that jersey though. That jersey's fire. Stop it.
To me, it's all about the storytelling. Like, and I feel like even from a brand perspective, it's like they, it's all marketing. So some of the stuff markets itself. So it's like if something's good, it's always going to be good. It doesn't matter if there's 1 million pairs made or there's 5 pairs made. If it's good, it's good. So I think certain things, it's like, of course, being drilled with the retros that we're familiar with. But sometimes, every so often, there is a Jordan that sneaks through that we're like, wait, hold up. I don't care if he wore this. You know what I'm saying? I don't care if this is. It's like stuff like the Jordan 1 Top 3 or like Shattered Backboard and stuff like that. Like some of the new storytelling, they hit a home run with. Like even some of the women's Jordan stuff that's been coming out recently.
Oh, definitely.
Like we don't care if like people's been loving all the satin stuff and all the super patent leather stuff. Like people's been really going for that stuff. And I think that there definitely is exceptions, but I think it kind of goes back to my point where it's like sometimes as a collector, we say things that we don't really mean. Like I've seen people scream at these people saying don't bring certain things back, or this is ugly, this is terrible. And then as soon as it hits the shelf, you see everybody wearing it. And the only person that didn't wear it is the person that you actually trusted their opinion that's in front of you.
Yeah, like, it's funny you say that because the black and blue 12s, I thought I didn't like them, but every single time I see somebody wearing them on social media, them joints look fire to me.
Yeah.
And I've never thought a royal blue Jordan looked dope to me. Like, I always felt like royal blue Jordans should have came out about 10, 12 years ago. Like, we should have been had, the royal blue and the 13 and the 12 and stuff like that. And the only blue 13 I could think of is like a Jordan 17 where it kind of, and that was because he played for the Wizards, like where it added that blue to it. But this black and blue 12 is a really clean shoe. Now, I'm not going to buy it because it's essentially like a boot for me. Like I'm not a tall person. Yeah. Plus my jeans are super slim and it just wouldn't look right on me. But them joints are clean though.
No, trust me. I know fashion's changed. A lot of the stuff that was grails, it's tough to pull off. Like I think Jordan Brand definitely got confused recently because a lot of the sneakers they brought back that were like going for a lot of money on Flight Club and StockX and stuff, as soon as they came back, they was on a Foot Action shelf. Because it's just like fashion's just changed so much. But me growing up in the hood, I always knew there's a soft spot between Jordan 9, Jordan 11, and Jordan 12 that I just know that as soon as those come out, whatever the colorway is, people gonna eat them up. And when I seen the black and blue, and I think that was a shoe that people didn't want to like. When I posted them on my Instagram because I was about to do the review for Jimmy Jazz, people were really like, "Ew, come on, they gotta stop." But I've been going into some stores. I've been walking in and just walking, window shopping, and I've been hearing a lot of people say like, "Yeah, it was sold out. Try this store," and we only got this size. So I think those are definitely like creeping up and warming up on a lot of people.
No,
I just tagged you on Twitter in that Jordan 3. I know you're on your cell phone right now with us, but you get a chance, take a look at that shoe.
So let's talk about your Bespoke. So
yeah.
It's super clean. Like me and George, we have
the box is dope. I didn't know you can make your own box when you do a Bespoke. That's fire.
Well, I think you did that separately on your own, right?
Yeah, I did that. I did that on my own. I did.
Oh, okay.
My process for the Bespoke. If you guys wanted me to, but if you mind if I go right into it now?
We're gonna go. Well, no, we're gonna go into it. So just real quick though, the Air Force One.
Yeah.
So we'll talk about how you made your decision on the shoe and stuff. George, I have a love and hate relationship with the Air Force One because Air Force Ones just wasn't a West Coast thing, and as of lately, I've been dying to buy an Air Force One. Now, George is bent on not letting me do so. He has to remind me that, I'm short and that they'll look like boots and everything on me. But lately, I've been loving the Air Force One, and you making a Bespoke of the Air Force One. Like, I do want to hear that process and what made you chose that and everything. I thought your picture was dope, showing every aspect of why you chose the colors. So if you can get into that, that'd be great.
Yeah, so, Wait, my fault. What was the first question?
Just the whole process
not ramble too far.
No.
You said just to go back. You said you have a buddy who works at Mercer. Does he still work at Mercer? Or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So one of my close friends, someone that I used to work with actually at Foot Locker, he when he left Foot Locker, he got a job at 21 Mercer. So, of course, 21 Mercer. I don't know how people in other places look at it, but Nike Lab 21 Mercer is like the holy grail of product. Like, if anything is hot, they got it. If it's 12 pairs in the world, they got it. Like, if there's anything that's just the store that, that they're going to have it. So, he's been working in there for, a few years, but he transitioned into working into Bespoke. And when he started working in the Bespoke, it was also my introduction into it. And I started to pay a lot more attention to it because that's the store that I was probably going in to once a week.
Yep.
You there?
You kind of cut out.
Yeah, but I never realized that there was they had like a lab in the back. So when he started working in the back and he started working in the lab, I started visiting. I started looking through the drawers and, people like you guys mentioned, Clark Kent. Clark Kent will always be in there and, just talking to them or picking up a shoe because Clark is somebody who, it's not between us because it's between whoever listens to our podcast. He's somebody who's made a lot. And so I'm just sitting there and I'm looking at just different examples. I'm looking at different, like the prototypes of the shoe. I'm looking at the qualities and stuff like that. And for a long time, I didn't really understand, like, why would someone pay to make a shoe when there's things like Nike ID? And, so he'll give me the introduction, like, it's because Nike ID, you can only play with these options.
Right.
Bespoke, like, you can kind of free for all on our materials. Like, you can change the sock lining, you can change the insoles, you can do everything. You can personalize things, you can get laser embroidered things and stuff like that. And I was like, oh, that's cool, but, I still was in a space where it's like, I'm trying to be Kanye, man. I'm trying to be Drake. I'm trying to get a shoe deal. I'm trying to compete. I'm trying to compete with concepts or something like that. I want my next album to be so good that people want to just collaborate with me and stuff like that. So, I think I kind of got to a space when it's like, all right, I'm doing these focus groups. I'm doing this media. I'm doing Jimmy Jazz. And before Jimmy Jazz, I was doing a review show for Hot New Hip Hop. And before that, I was in a documentary on Business Insider about the sneaker business, and stuff like that. And I was, I'm just like, damn, when is somebody gonna reach out to me to do something? Like, I think I'm so much more than just a guy that on the gram that occasionally gets a post on a sneaker blog or somebody retweets something. So, what I said is, I thought about it. I was like, you know what, I'm going to give myself a point when if I visited Nike campus in February for the first time. If I meet with all these people and nobody's like, yo, let me give you a collaboration or something like that, which is super unrealistic for you to think that these people even could make these decisions and stuff like that. Like I'm meeting with people who, they just fans of my music. They think I'm a creative person on Instagram. They don't even have the clearance to be like, yo, I'm gonna give you a collaboration and stuff like that. So and out of my first trip, I feel like I just got offered a job more than I got offered anything else. Like people, would you work here? Would you live here? And I was like, yeah, I think I might, and stuff like that. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna just pull the trigger. I'm gonna make a bespoke, and as far as I can go, I'll simulate a sneaker release. So what I sat down with my friend and the bespoke team, and I just kind of told them like, yo, what's things that I could do, what's things that I can't do, what stuff like that. And their advice is like, yo, if you're gonna pay $1,000, make something you're gonna wear. And I'm like, nah, I don't want to need to make something I'm gonna wear. I need to make something that people can talk about. And they like, yeah, but it's your money, so you want to do stuff that this and that. And I'm just like, what can I come up with that be solid, that'll tie into my story, tie into everything that I'm doing, that do that. And from the outside looking in, it's like a lot of us were programmed to, it's either you like something or you don't like something. So when you have that total control, it felt like a lot of options. Like it felt like of course I love my mom, but what color represents my mom? Of course I love my kids, but what fabric represents my kids? And how do you tie it together? What am I going to be able to wear? What colors look good together? It was a tall task. And at the same time, I'm like, but what is the shoe going to mean? So I was like, you know what? I do have maybe some music that I feel like I've been holding on to. So, let me make a shoe that's about my next album. So before I even set my appointment, I went home and said, what am I going to name the next album? What's going to be the logo and stuff like that? And then I brought it to them, and they were like, oh, yeah, that's cool. And I was like, you think I could put it here? And they was like, yeah, you could do that. So from that aspect, I just tried to build the inspirations of what the shoe was. And, and then when I finally had an appointment, it all came together. And I'm not going to lie to you, it was a mess. It was crazy. But at the end of the day, I came up with something that I felt like people would see online, or they would see open in a box, and they would really be like, no, this is not something regular. Whether I like it or I hate it, I feel some type of way about it. And, from that point on, after the shoe was in production and I was waiting it to get made, I was like, how can I heat up some energy? Like, how can I create, I want to create a box. So let me figure out a way to create a box. Let me create some box tissue. Let me make some merchandise. Let me apply all the things that get overlooked as an artist, because so many artists in the world have merchandise. Like if you go to any rap show, Travis Scott, Kanye West, anybody that's selling T-shirts. So I was like, you know what, let me apply those same principles of what you should do as an artist to making a bespoke. Like, don't just personalize it. Like, make it something that's a lifestyle item, like something that has potential for the marketplace. And, working in Foot Locker, talking to people from Nike, and just seeing so many different things, I just kind of tried to apply even everything that I've seen. Like, I seen Sean Weatherspoon make a bespoke last year that he was able to cut the top layer and it had floral print under. Yeah. And then he made another one, and he was able to put a raincoat over it. So it was just so many different things that I was like, you need to push those limits. You need to push those limits of just creativity. Like, you're not in a box. You're not looking at the Mocha 3s right now and saying, I wish that they look like this. Like, you have the opportunity to make these decisions right now. So when I came up with everything, I just was like, let me package it in a way where it shows a lot of initiative to the Nike people that, follow me, and let me also show attention to detail for anyone who cares a lot about storytelling, who cares a lot about product, and cares a lot about how something comes together. And, just even going forward, the guy that took my pictures, he works for Packers. So
okay.
I reached out to him, and I was just like, yo, you take wonderful product pictures. I made a shoe with Nike. Is there any way that I can, be able to get some flicks done and stuff? And he was like, yeah, sure, man. definitely, man, I love to be a part of the process and all that stuff. And so that was one thing. I made the box. I made stickers. I made pins. I made T-shirts. And just like I was like, you know what, let me make a recap video. And you know what, like since I grew up in the blog era when it came to music, let me reach out to these blogs and let me see if they'll post the shoe. So I reached out to Double XL. I reached out to Soul Collector. I reached out to Nice Kicks. And, you know, I reached out to Complex and stuff like that. And you know, Nice Kicks was able to post it, and it just took it to such a new height and level. And, you know, I've just been so grateful of the process. And one thing that I'm not even sure if the person I want to be out there, but you guys, I know you guys said you I don't know if you spoke to Clark Kent.
Yeah, we
So Clark being someone who's a frequent of Nike and frequent of like just, you know, a legend in the sneaker game, somebody who probably other people probably get the credit that Clark deserves, like just because he has just there's so many different collaborations and stuff like that. And before I was able to even roll things out, like he kind of chewed off my ear about, like, one day I ran into him and he was like, yo, bro, like, how come I see you so many times and I don't even know that you make music? You know what I'm saying? Like, every time I'm in here, you in here, you know, telling them what you about to do with the sneaker, what you about to do with Nike, or who you about to tell, and what collaboration you about to get. But how come I don't know anything that you got to do with music and stuff like that? And I just kind of applied all that stuff that's like, as much as this is about the shoe, as much as this is a Bespoke, I think that it tells the story of me as an artist. It tells the story as me as someone who grew up that's like the rose that came out the concrete and stuff like that. And I just think that online, people's been talking. All my attention to detail is really been picking up steam, and it's been very helpful to just try to build a new army of support, because you could co-sign yourself. I could walk up to any exec or anybody and tell them that, yo, J-Tips is that guy. But I think that recently everything that I've been doing has been just building a new army of support, where people are writing under these blog posts or these Instagrams and saying, yo, when J-Tips shoe coming? When, you know, where's this J-Tips shoe at? And we want to see that. We don't want to see this. So it's been crazy. It's been a marathon. But, you know, I had high hopes. For the whole process, because I'm not sure if many times a Bespoke ever made it to production. I know Virgil worked on something before the Off-White came out, but I'm not sure in what version came out of that was still the Bespoke. And Bari, Ace Young Lord,
right,
you know, with V-Lone, the V-Lone Air Force One was also a Bespoke. So it's been very few times I think that a Bespoke has really cracked the daylight and made it to retail, and that's just been like my focus. Like, if I can make a product that, you know, that's that personalized, but at the end of the day, people see like, yo, I would purchase this. Like, this is something that I would wear. You know, that's just what I've been going for, and so far it's been working, and it has worked.
Well, you know,
just trying to keep pushing the message.
If you're buying sneakers online, there is more than a coin flip chance that the shoe you're looking at is fake. How can you be sure it's real? GOAT.com is the safest way to buy and sell authentic sneakers online. They're the largest marketplace in the world for authentic Yeezys, Jordans, and over 600,000 sneaker listings. They've made the whole process frictionless and trustworthy. They do this by only accepting sellers with the best reputation and by verifying all sneakers to ensure their authenticity for buyers. Every detail is inspected, from the stitching, the color, the size, and the weight. GOAT certifies that every pair of sneakers on their site matches exact factory specifications. With over 500,000 sneakers on the platform and 10 million users, you won't find better prices for verified 100% authentic sneakers anywhere else. Find the perfect 100% authentic sneakers at goat.com/sneakdiz. You ask how to support the show? goat.com/sneakdiz. That's goat.com/sneakdiz. Plus, you'll be supporting our show, like I just said, but you've got to go right now before the sneakers you want are gone. When you go to goat.com/sneakdiz, spelled GOAT.com/SNEKDIS. What's funny is I think you did too good of a job, because I think that is a phenomenal thing.
I gave some free promo.
Yeah, because, you know, I think it's funny what you said. Like, you knew the sneaker was going to come out and it was a one of one, but you wanted to create merch for it. You wanted to create your own buzz for it. And I still see people like, yo, I can't wait for these to drop. Yo, when the release date? Like, they still you did such a good rollout on your own for your own creation that they still don't understand that this is just a one-of-one J Tips in hopes that it does get produced.
Yeah. Yeah, yo, and that's probably been the scariest part because it's, feeling so prepared for something like that's a burden I had to carry with knowing that I was gonna release music, with knowing that I was gonna be doing some other things before I can even put the shoe pictures out, knowing that I was gonna try to show as many people from Nike or talk to as many people, get advice as possible until I even put it out. That I felt like I did do so much. Like, I still feel like I love everything I did, but now I'm just seeing regular things on Instagram and people screaming back at me, yo, fam, wear your shoe. Like, walking through the streets in New York City right now, it's been overwhelming because, as a creative, everybody doesn't always see your work. But now I'm walking into Kif and people are like, where's your Air Force? I'm walking through Soho, I'm walking through Harlem, and people are giving me hugs, saying congratulations. I'm on the train, and people are tapping me and asking, is my shoe going to come out? My DMs are flooded, is your shoe coming out? And people were asking me, like, yo, I'll pay this price, and, is there any way that I can get a pair and stuff like that? So it's been super, super overwhelming. But if I told you some of the other ideas I had, like, I was going to do, like, some video editing to make it seem like it popped up on a sneaker app. I was going to do some Photoshop stuff I was going to do some Gotham. Like, I was going to do, like, a bunch of stuff that I'm like, yo, thank God I didn't do that because it's already a lot to deal with. Like, like right now the shoe's on display at 21 Mercer, and people are still, like, calling the store, is J-Tip shoe still available? Friends that I have and friends that I have in other Foot Lockers and Foot Actions and stuff, they're telling me that people are nonstop sending them screenshots saying, hey, I see he follows you on the Instagram. I don't want to be rude. Do you know if you get any shoes? And they're like, yo, that's my friend, but I don't think his shoe's coming out. So it's been super overwhelming. Somebody even told me that they stopped even sharing what I was posting because people started talking to them like they had the answers. Like, is this shoe coming out? Do you know what sizes they're going to come in? Are they going to come in small sizes? How they run? Like, so I definitely, if anything, I may have miscalculated the impact of just a tad bit.
Have you looked into any of that? What was the thing that Kristen Black was involved with?
Although
Nike by You?
Nike by You.
Have you looked in any of that stuff yet?
We're Cultivator?
Yeah, Cultivator?
Yeah, I have, but, that stuff is like, college admissions, they just pick people. You're not sure how they pick people.
Right.
But, it's been something that, I'm not gonna lie. I've been trying to figure out who's in charge of it. I've been trying to figure out if it's someone that I might know or if it's a team that I might know somebody a part of it. Anyway, because sometimes that extra initiative to find out and then shoot a DM or shoot an email, it might help, speed up if you could get selected. But I haven't figured it out. I think it'll be a cool opportunity because I think that, if you're just trying to raise awareness and someone who you're trying to build off someone's marketing and you want to see, you want to create energy in different places. I definitely, without just tooting my own horn, I think that I can sell a few pairs of shoes, just based off of just the support that my Bespoke got, and it's something that's not available for sale.
Oh no! When I see people post your sneaker or share it on their stories and stuff, it's funny because I look at their actual Instagrams and they're not what's considered a sneaker collector or sneakerheads. They like music and they have other interests. I don't see any other sneakers on their stuff, but they're definitely sharing yours and talking about how they need this, and I think you did a great job of that. And I think what you're doing is basically it is a resume. It's a job interview. It's showing that there are people out here with like real influence. There are plenty of people out here with hundreds and thousands of followers, but are they real influencers? Mm-hmm. I was telling George, I said, J-Tips might have around like 9,000 to 10,000 followers, but I said, man, I think every single one of his followers might have posted that sneaker. Like, they really ride for you and they respect what you do, and you are somebody who they look to as influence. And I think that's super dope.
Yeah, and that's, to me, I think that's the thing that gets misconstrued a lot in just the business of shoes and the business of collaboration and stuff like that. Is it's how are these brands, how are these people measuring influencers? You know, you're just measuring it by follower count. You're just measuring it by, you know, likes on a picture. But people like your picture. People like your podcast. People like things for a plethora of different reasons and stuff. And, you know, I think that I've been someone who like I've been in the company of a lot of good things, and my influence, I think it definitely exceeds what someone may click in my profile and look at the first 9 or 12 pictures or read the bio and click the Instagram story. It exceeds those things because, you know, one week I may look like I'm super duper rapper, and the next week it might be like, damn, this kid gets every single freaking shoe. You know, so my influence has been something that, you know, I question a lot. Like one of my friends, he does a like 10 times more consulting work for me when it comes to Nike. And, you know, me and him argue at high-pitched voice when I just tell him, like, you know, it ain't no reason why I feel like I should be overlooked. It ain't no reason why, you know, these people are you know, getting collaborations and doing all this type of stuff. A lot of that stuff is like, you know, wait your turn. I would say, like, wait your turn energy, because at the end of the day, you can say you're the most positive person, but you notice when you feel like you're being overlooked and you feel like, you know, maybe people are skipping over you intentionally and stuff like that. And one thing about a lot of these brands, they're obsessed with trying to make people sneakerheads. They're obsessed with trying to turn somebody into a consumer because they feel like they already got you. They feel like they already got me. They feel like they already got people that love shoes that's talking about it for a living and stuff like that. So, you know what? Let me take the girl that's out of Dwayne Reed that you know what, she wears a lot of Vans, but her conversion rate is in the 50% when it comes to the amount of people that follows her, the amount of people that like her. You know what I'm saying? Let's put the Sakai waffle on her because J-Tips already is going to have the Sakai waffle and stuff like that. So I think that what I did with the Bespoke, what I did with the marketing of my music, of the cover art, and the stuff that I've been able to continue to be a part of is I showed them that it's like, it doesn't make sense how, like you said, these aren't bot pages. These are people who live real life to saying, can I purchase your shoes? That are buying this merch, that are buying or listening to the music in different places and you know, purchasing something and physically buying something, because your follower count doesn't show you how many people will buy something from you. And I think that's real influence and how many people really give into your brand and stuff like that. Like that doesn't really reflect, because you can have. Sorry, I'm rambling. I'm going off on a tangent.
No, you good. No, we like to hear this stuff. We don't get to hear this stuff all the time, and it's good to hear that. You know, like I said, we on the West Coast, we in Arizona. We do look at 21 Mercer as like the mecca of like Nike. Like we might not have the opportunity to ever go there. So to hear your process in creating your Bespoke, and you've been places and talked to people that we might not ever get to talk to, is what we love to hear. So you're doing just fine.
Yeah. You know, I've no. What'd you say? What's your question?
No, I was gonna say, so like, you know, with that being said, like I did hit you up and I asked you and I said, if you could make a top 10 sneaker list, and you told me you can do that off top of your own personal ones. Now, I'm gonna assume your number one favorite sneaker of all time is the one we've been talking about. I'm gonna
my sneaker?
Yeah, of course, your own Bespoke. It gotta be your number one. Oh, come on. It got to be the number one.
You know what? I'll make that number one just because it's like, you know, it's kind of like it's that time that someone asks you, like, yo, do you think you're the best rapper? You know, you always got to say yeah.
Of course.
Because if you don't, it shows weakness.
Oh, no, so definitely. Like, we're the best.
You know, I'm definitely.
We're the best nigger podcast, period. So.
So you ready? You ready for me to go?
Let me go. Go for it. Let me hear.
All right, so my number one, that's Air J-Tips, my Bespoke by 21 Mercer. I'll say number one. My number two is the College Blue Air Jordan 17, just because it was the first ever shoe that I went from grade school to men's size. So to me, it was just like a super filling feeling to like, you know, I tried on that size 7 in the store and it didn't really fit like that. And then they go on the back and then they come out with a suitcase. You know, they came out like it had a CD in it. Like I went home and I put it in my computer. I tried to watch it. Like it was just a surreal experience to even be wearing it to school and, you know, having like a young school teacher, and the teacher's like, your shoe costs $200. Like you're in seventh grade.
Right.
So there's little stuff like that. Like that's my number 2. My number 3 is the Bread 11. I say Bread 11 just because even though it's a shoe that just gets watered down and killed, and Jordan Brand has put it out every single Christmas in different colorways and stuff like that, trying to make money. The Bread 11 just means something to me, just because I remember being young, looking down at my feet and just being able to experience just like, everybody, like even adults, like, oh, he got on the new J's, like, oh, that's what's up, shorty. You know what I'm saying? Just stuff like that. And I would say my number 4 is the Safari Atmos 1, the first one. I don't remember if you called the first one the different name or something like that. But I remember I seen a magazine cut out of Pharrell wearing it. I went home from college. I came through. I went right to Flight Club. I bought them for $150 for Flight Club, and within like a year they were like $700, $1,000 in value and stuff like that. But it was always a shoe that everybody told me, like, yo, I'm so happy you have it. Like, that's so crazy. You're the only person I know that has it. I'm like, yeah, because I liked them before everybody else liked them. And number 5, I would say my number 5 is Cool Grey 4. Cool Grey 4 just to me is my favorite Jordan 4. When it came back out, it was like a gimme. Like, I didn't care if it was going for money. I didn't care if it was going for anything. Like, I just wanted to buy it. And I would say my next one is my number 6 is the Blink Yeezy 1. Blink Yeezy 1, just because it's just a surreal moment when, Kanye West even still, I try to separate what's going on with him now with the legacy of him, and he's a legend. He's a legend to me.
All right, so
he was somebody that,
go ahead.
Yeah, Kanye was just somebody that at the end of the day, it's like at a very young age I realized I wasn't going to be Michael Jordan, but when Kanye West got a shoe, it made me feel like I could still be Kanye. So it just made it feel like just a surreal moment, kind of like what a lot of people feel towards like Sean Witherspoon or Virgil now. It's like, I could be somebody in the background. I could be somebody who, has a very, very like underdog story, but still come out on top kind of feeling. I had that with Kanye just being a musician.
So
you want to ask me a question?
Yeah. We ask everyone. So on your top 10 list, because everyone has obviously different reasons for listing things, have you or do you currently own everything that's been on there? Because that's obviously a point of contention for our show for every list. Yeah,
I own or have owned everything.
Okay.
I've had to let a few things fly.
All right, cool.
But everything I named so far, I can send you a picture of me in it.
No, we don't. We're not calling people out like that for proof. We just are curious what the answer is because everybody's got a different answer. So.
Yeah. My 6th favorite. I think Link was one. So my number 7, I would say, is the Kiwi Air Force One. Air Force One. I would say 6 and 7 is probably. I would say them at the same time, just because it's 2 different Air Force Ones. Or it might have 7 and 8. I'm not sure. I think I lost track.
7. You on 7?
So the Kiwi Air Force One and the Invisible Air Force One was when I stopped buying Jordans. It was a point in my life when I was like, you know what? I'm tired of the laces turning colors. I'm tired of cleaning the laces in the sink. I'm tired of, I'm tired of people stepping on me and just getting scuffed up and stuff. And when I started wearing Air Force Ones 2006, it was really like those 2 Air Force Ones took my high school by storm. People was asking me like, yo, are those your socks? Like, and I was like, yup, these my socks. So it was like I used to have to go and get like little special socks and stuff like that. And this is before like Stance and Nike Elite socks were like stocks quality. Like, I was getting like female socks that had like patterns and stuff just because it'll bring out the Air Force One and stuff. And so that was like my rotation. I was like Kiwi and then Invisible until I got to a point when then like the World Cup came and I was getting all the World Cup Air Forces and stuff. And then I got into like the dunks and everything, which is my next. Then my next, I would say, I think I'm up to 8. And then 8, I would say, is the Brian Anderson
okay.
dunks. It's a beautiful shoe. Like, it was a shoe that I remember every time I wore them, I had this orange hoodie. Just because when you're young, you know, you got to pick either clothes or shoes. So I remember every time I wore the Brian Andersons, I had this really bright orange hoodie, and no matter what jeans I had on, everybody still looked at my shoes. Everybody was still like, it's an incredible shoe, and the laces always stuck out, the fat tongue, and just, it was just beautiful. That was like my introduction to camo too. I know it was a few years later where camo got really big. I'm not sure if it got big where you guys are from, but people was dressed like they was in the military in New York a few years ago.
It was like that out here.
Yeah, so we were, you know, I feel like I was up on it. Like I felt like when I started seeing that trend, I was like, yep, I used to have those Brian Andersons. And I would say number 9 is, I think I'll take it back to Yeezy. I'll say the Yeezy. No, you know what? I'm not even going to say Yeezy. I'm going to say the South Beach LeBron, the Preheat 8. Because just the story of it, and, you know, working at Foot Locker, it was one of those shoes that people said wouldn't, you know, sometimes when you're not going to get a shoe, like, oh, those, we aren't getting those and stuff like that, you got to do your research.
Right.
So I remember finding out what store had it. I camped out at a Foot Action in Yonkers, which is the next town. Like, Yonkers is the first town outside of New York City, which is literally like I could be on the phone with you guys right now where I live in the Bronx and walk I'll be in Yonkers in 7 minutes. So it's like it's a Foot Action in Yonkers. I camped out. It was like 7 dudes. It was like 7 dudes online because I guess they knew that they were gonna have them, but everybody only thought that Foot Action on 34th Street, which is like the prime location, flagship Foot Action, was gonna have them. So I go get them. I pick them up. They let me use my discount and everything. You know, I bring them home. I go to work. I get to work on 34th Street, and it was the cops were shutting the release down, and they had like Funkmaster Flex, the DJ, and people were like trying to fight each other for pairs. And I realized that other stores had them. And if you talk to anybody about that shoe that like really bought them from retail, they all, like, so many people have I didn't even know this store was going to have them. I just walked in and seen them because everybody, like, it was really no promotion on who was going to have them. And at that point, LeBron's was still kind of niche. The 7 was a hit, but everything else really wasn't really going like that.
Right.
So it was like the 8 was that first shoe that it was really like, yo, he's not in Cleveland no more, stuff like that. The South Beach colorway, I kind of seen it from like very, very early on. Like I think even some of my friends was like buying pairs for like $300 just because they couldn't get a pair from the store, and within a year they went for like over 1,000.
Yep.
And stuff like that. And number 10, I'll definitely say number 10 is the Yeezy 2. The Yeezy 2, just the black pairs, just because the Yeezy 2 was the shoe that, like, because of everything that happened with the Yeezy 1 and the hype and how they blew up and how much money they went, when you know the Yeezy 2 was coming out, it was almost like a mystery on how to get it. Stores were backdooring. You know, it was impossible to find out who was going to have it because they was already trying to sell it on their own or do what they were doing with it and stuff like that. So it was just so impossible to get a pair. And I knew the date. I knew somebody that told me that they could sell it to me. You know, I got to the store at 7:00 in the morning. Nobody was there because the store didn't tell nobody they were coming out. And as soon as I got to the store told me $1,000.
Oh, word?
And I said, but this is a retail store. So they said it's $1,000. So I end up spending the whole $1,000 on the shoe.
Oh, you bought it?
The whole $1,000 on the shoe.
So
I bought it.
Okay.
So I ended up buying the shoe, and you know, on my way home, I'm trying to figure out how I'm gonna eat for the next 2 weeks at work.
Right.
You know, I'm trying to figure out like would I ever get to the point of wearing it? The whole social media is going crazy, and everybody's just talking about it, and everybody's talking about how to, you know, what it's going for and what people are paying and stuff like that. And I just made a conscious decision, and I was just like, you know, I could be broke or I could sell it. And I went down to a store in New York City at the time called like Exclusive. And, you know, it was actually a young kid. Young kid would, I don't know, he must like that's one thing in New York City, you run into a lot of rich kids that their parents give them money. So he was like, yo, I'll give you like $1,600 for them right now. And, I just looked at the shoe. I was like, yo, let me take a picture for Instagram purposes. And, I took the picture, and I just took the $1,600, and with the money, I paid for some marketing. I put my video on like World Star Hip Hop and stuff like that. And honestly, from that point, I seen a big step. I seen a big step in just like the progression of my music game. Like, it was like the first, like, as soon as I did that, the video was getting picked up on blogs. It was getting picked up on like radio, and people were reaching out to me and just so many different things. I just kind of felt like it was a silver lining moment where it was like the moment I took myself extremely serious, it paid off. The moment I put my passion aside for another passion, it really helped me. It really helped me just like really blossom and stuff like that. And eventually, a few years later, I was blessed enough to be able to get the pair back, and it just came full circle to me.
I like
that.
It
was like a moment that I wanted to cry.
I like that list too. Like, I think that list is it's a list that shows like the different eras, and like, throwing in the Brian Anderson, like I would have never expected that. I would have never expected anybody to throw a Brian Anderson in there, and I like hearing that. I wouldn't expect anybody to throw the Jordan 17 in there, to be honest with you. But
yeah, I always I think that's why I was like, you know what? When you asked me early in the day to come up with a list, I was like, you know what? Let me make it natural, because I think some of the stories might have not came out if I wrote it down. I probably would have tried to throw you a little flavor or something like that.
And that's a fact. And I think a lot of people. I feel like sometimes when we do top 10 lists, we do that. You try to come out with the hottest, but like I like the stories, because me and George have been buying sneakers forever. So we all got stories to us. So it's good to hear those stories, And like I keep telling everybody, like I said, this podcast is on Apple, this is on Spotify, this is on YouTube. I want you to go out. I want you to go listen to J Tips, the Savior. Listen to all his music. His music has plenty of sneaker stuff for you guys who are just into sneakers, and it's rapping, though. It's really good rapping. It's good music. It's good production. The cover arts on your albums are phenomenal. Like, who does that?
Oh yeah, so I work with a guy that's very, very dope artist. He draws a lot of like sneaker stuff, and his name is let me tell you his exact Instagram name, because a lot of creative people, they change their Instagram name a lot, so I don't want to send people into the wrong direction.
Right.
So his name on Instagram is Jigga _what _Jigga _who. So, but he's somebody that I grew up with in my neighborhood that's very talented. He blew up off Instagram, like designing like Timberlands and Air Force Ones, and just drawing a lot of stuff. And I just seen the vision with him. If like people go back and look at some of my other albums, he started to fuse my face with sneakers and stuff like that. And it really helped me see that I could brand myself and sell merchandise and sell pins and sell stickers and stuff like that. And when I was heavy, like just trying to really get shoes to people and stuff, like trying to, because I always, a lot of people may just look at it like it's reselling and stuff, like, but I was to a point when I worked at Foot Locker, I met so many people who worked in different avenues of life that could help me with my music or help me with stuff, that when I was really just trying to be people's plug, half of the time I wasn't even making no money. Like, I was just trying to be the delivery man and stuff. So when I used to just get shoes for people and just put, stickers in the boxes and stuff like that, and everybody would be like, yo, you didn't give me stickers this time and stuff like that. And it really helped me just really brand myself when I started just trying to fuse the music and the sneakers too. Because when I was having a lot of music meetings, everybody always kind of asked me about my sneaker stuff like it might be a problem. Or when I was having sneaker conversations, people would talk to me about my music like it might be a problem. But when I tried to form it all together, it kind of really started to really blossom for me.
I like that, man. That's a good story. So I don't have any more questions for you right now. I appreciate the stories. Our listeners, they love the conversation. I appreciate you being a good sport. A lot of people won't know what happened
no problem.
before this, but I'm gonna tell you, like,
that's all good. It's up to you. It's up to you to tell it, man. It's your story to tell.
Yeah, it felt good and stuff like that. But like, I feel like somebody like you is very important right now, and like it's gonna get really, really important. And I'm glad that we've been able to talk to you early. Like you said, like, sent a simple DM. people have like requested you. We weren't super familiar with you, but going through your page and seeing like how much respect people have for what you've done with your Bespoke and your music, it's encouraging. Like hearing you say you sold the Yeezy 2 to put towards your music, it encourages us to like, maybe I don't need this sneaker to put back into the podcast and maybe take it to the next level. Like, and we want to do so. So like you are an influencer to us, like a real influencer, and I definitely appreciate that. So, like I said,
Thank you, man. I appreciate that.
Yeah. No, and like I said, I need everybody to go listen to The Savior. It's on Apple, it's on Spotify, YouTube, it's on everything. Go find it, all right? Do your Google searches and find it, and support J Tips. Follow him on Instagram and everything. He's not gonna be hard to find. Find him on our page. We're gonna tag him. We're gonna post the videos and everything of the show. And like I said, man, congratulations on everything you got going on and coming. And I hope we can talk to you again. Even when you get super big, I want to talk to you again.
Yeah, God willing, man. I feel like energy is, the energy right now is contagious. You guys, you've decided to be a part of my story, and whichever way it ends and whatever way it goes. So, whatever good happens to me happens to you guys. So, I appreciate it 1 million times. We on two different coasts right now. Like, right. As soon as I get off the phone, I gotta put my kids to sleep for school tomorrow. So it's definitely appreciation to coming where I come from. Like you guys are in Arizona. Like it made, you guys really have a ear for the culture to just for me to even just be on your radar. Like I mean that 100. I mean that 100%. I'm truly grateful.
I appreciate that. And expect a text message from me when the Dodgers beat the Yankees in the World Series. So just expect that text message to come.
Man, since Derek Jeter stopped playing, man, that's another person's idol, man. The New York Yankee hat represents something else to me right now. It probably represents the savior more than it represents like Giancarlo Stanton or something to me right now.
That's all good. All right, Jay, man, we appreciate it, and I'll talk to you later.
All right,
man. Thank you, man. Thank you. Thanks, everybody.
All right, take it easy.
George, can we do NFL picks? Baseball, all that stuff.
Did you buy anything last week?
My Cloud Yeezys came in since we're pointing at each other, and I'm angry that I got them because I can't do nothing with them because I'm definitely not wearing them. But I think they fire, but I can't make no money off of them.
I mean, you can get your money back, I would assume.
I can, but I might just sit on them for a while. I think they might go up in a little while. Maybe only $50 is cool, since you're my wife and your wife like to sit there and talk about my sneaker exploits through text message. All right. I left that thread quick. I hate that thread. No. Anyways, you copy anything?
Can you add back, or does your phone?
I don't care if I can get back in it or not. I'm sick of that. Only time all of us text message is about me. I'm like, yo, fam, we got anything else to talk about?
Act like I didn't start it.
It doesn't matter. Me. Well, you copy anything?
Solar Yellow 1.0 Ultra
to keep?
Boost. Probably. I got it under retail.
I need to get those, but I need to get them for cheap. I need the yellows. I have the orange already. I don't have yellows.
When?
The oranges? When they first dropped? Like
lies.
What you talking? Me and Simple got them. What are you talking about? Someone got his for like $55. I got mine for like $80.
Lies. I think they were like $150 shipped.
Okay.
$153 under retail shipped.
That's the only thing you copped?
Yep.
Oh, good. I like that. Something to keep this week, not to resell. I like that. Come to the dark side.
And I sold all the things that I had to sell pretty much. I just sold a shoe while we were sitting here interviewing Jay.
You are a hype beast reseller, fam. But I appreciate it. What'd you sell?
Just now?
Landmarks?
No. I told you when I was in Oregon, I bought a size 8, those Paris... whatever.
SB1s, whatever they are.
Whatever those wipe-off pink joints.
They sell for good? Decent?
Oh, yeah. I mean, size 8.
Oh.
Doesn't matter which one you have when it's that size.
Well, that's good. I don't even know what comes out this week. We didn't even talk about releases or nothing. Do we need to do that this week? Yeah, it doesn't matter. Nothing big, though, right?
We got 15 minutes, so, I mean, we could, if you want me to go through it.
We got 30 minutes. We could. Like, them cats can wait.
All right. I don't think it's going to take that long to talk about NFL picks. Let's see here.
I'm really focused on the Dodgers winning the World Series, though. Like, I need this to happen.
I don't know why you're so focused on it. Normally, you don't care.
What? What do you mean? Throughout the year, the 195 games, forever, 2,000 games a year? Oh, no. I care. All right.
Well,
this season I did watch a lot less baseball than I usually do, but I care.
Solar Pack comes out tomorrow in the United States of America.
And to the Republic in which it stands. Yes.
Some pack with Air Force Ones for women, 3 in a pack. What they look kind of like different. Maybe
Sounds like a whack
how
week.
the thing is sewn. I don't know.
Those Air Force Ones.
What is that? That's what I said.
I don't know, like
What's that pack called?
I don't know. There's a
Sewn differently pack.
destructive. I don't know. The joints are tight.
It looks like it's different.
I like those.
LeBron 17, black white.
Oh, okay. I'm like, what is that?
Coppin?
Nope. I don't need athletic Timberlands.
Let's
Red
see.
carpets don't come out this week, right?
Well, I'll let you know here in a second.
Red carpets. I need to know what retail is because that pre-order was a hitter. All right.
I mean, 235 is not much more than it. Retail's probably going to be 200, I would assume. Jordan 12 Sunrise. I guess it's the GS.
Oh, those suck, man.
They do.
They're not even like gradient. It's like each panel is a different color. I do not like those.
Yeah, they suck. Adapt BB multicolor.
Those are kind of fire.
I think they'll resell, so I'll probably try.
I love that shoe.
And if they don't, I'll just send them back.
I need a pair for retail, and I need my wife to be okay with it.
Okay. Retail is $350.
Yeah. So yeah.
Stussy Wallabies. The only reason I'm saying this is because they're up your alley. Pause.
Love them.
And
I mean, I would like to buy them.
all right.
Now, I'm hoping, my guy, Rick Teves, my guy, see what happens.
All right. Gym Red 9.
Gym Red ones.
Gym Red Jordan 9.
Let me tell you something. I don't care for Jordan 9s whatsoever, and I do feel like this red version is probably about 17 years too late. But they're not too bad.
17 years ago might have been the actual first release year of those. But
No, that's not. It can't be.
2002? Yeah,
Nah, it can't be.
It's close.
They're kind of clean.
Benji Dunk SB.
Is that the with the swooshes all over?
Yeah.
Shout out to Black Sheep. I seen a couple skaters wearing them. Now they might have looked kind of dope because they were actually holding skateboards.
So this is what I'm gonna say. I don't like that the swooshes are all over the thing, but a shoe like that, like we bought the one. Did you buy the one too? That I took it back. Deconstructed Nike SB low or whatever. So what I need is a sale Jordan 1 low.
Yeah.
All sale. Like the Jordan 1 low, Jordan 1 OG sale high. I kind of regret not buying that because they were everywhere under retail forever. Now they're obviously above retail.
It's not too bad though.
No, it's not terrible, but I'm just saying, like, I'm not going to pay over retail for a sale shoe. But I don't necessarily want that deconstructed one back. I kind of want to look at it again to see if I made a mistake. But I need this shoe is just making me want it because it's all sale except for the green. I just want a sale Jordan 1 low. Is it OG?
Yeah, but
not the fat one silhouette. I need the OG silhouette.
See this dunk. Like, I really want to cut the tongue open on a dunk and take the foam out and see.
Yeah, but even still, it has swooshes all over the place and it just looks trash.
The swooshes all over the place is different. Like, I like that. I mean, come on. Like, stuff that's different, swooshes backwards, removed, bigger, smaller. I like it. It's a little something different, and it's something that we wouldn't have seen a long time ago. So I'm cool with it. You're not a big branded person anyway when it comes to sneakers. Now the swoosh is just iconic and it's a regular size.
Well, it makes it better that they're the same color as the leather. They didn't make them, they didn't stamp a bunch of like white swooshes on a black shoe or black on a white shoe or something like that.
That's definitely a good point.
So yeah, it looks more regular that it makes it look okay or better that they did that. But still, I don't want that shoe. I want an all sale Jordan 1 low. Now, if you want to add a little bit of green to the collar or something like that, like this shoe, totally fine with it because it still looks like, to me, like a clean low shoe. But the tongue and everything, even if it was an SB, like that's why I like that deconstructed one because the tongue was not a fat tongue. Pause. It was normal, but the shoe wasn't the right color, and it was like suede. It was kind of threw me off. I thought it was gonna be more grayish.
I thought it was gonna be for some reason I thought it was gonna be canvas a little bit. Like it just wasn't what I expected.
I don't want canvas low. I'm
cool with that.
I want leather. I think I just want a Jordan 1. Jordan 1 low sale. I mean, listen, they can let Eric Costa make it. I put Eric Costa's name on it. Same thing with the Carolina and the other one. I need to wear those other ones, by the way, because I wore Carolinas the other day. They're fire.
They're extreme fire.
Human Made Pack, even though they've been coming out already in like some European stores.
I need those,
Human Made Pack. I don't know why. For
need
some reason,
the
Essence was
HU.
under retail.
NMD. What?
Essence for the NMD was $220, and I told you I already sold it and whatnot. But $250 is regular price.
Yeah. Oh, that's weird.
Which is weird. So I don't know.
I think those are fire. I guess they've just completely abandoned the like regular bottom. Like I'm cool with the
It's
trail.
too much. When I opened it up, and I think with those NMDs, like I don't know if you attempted to relace yours.
I did.
I think I would start the laces lower.
See, I tried that. It doesn't work out right. I tried that, like the other holes on the bottom.
Yeah.
It didn't work out right. I was like, dang it. Unless I just didn't know what I was doing.
I'm not saying like all the way, but I think I would go like 1 or 2 loops closer.
I think for those white ones, you got to wear the red laces. Like the red breaks it up enough because they are way too white. But I mean, I like them. They cool. I just like, man, they're never gonna put the regular sole back on them. And I have no problem with the trail sole, but that seems to just be the norm now. So
They're all right. Too much white. That's why I sold them. I mean, I was gonna sell them anyways, but I'm not buying a $225 shoe that I'm not gonna wear that much. I need something I'm gonna wear a lot.
You would wear
justify
those
that
a lot.
price.
Yeah,
That's, I mean, why you think that's why I'm Jordan lows right now? Jordan 1 lows, they're 110. Bruh, please give me more. Pause. The Basement Air Max 90 Glasgow.
Let me see that.
I'm not mad at it. No, I'm not mad at
I
it.
see some other pictures of it. You'd be mad at it.
Oh, well,
There's
yeah.
certain pictures that look fire. I see some pictures on eBay, like
Yeah, you
people
might
that
be
got
right,
them.
I'm just saying, I'm not mad at it.
Ew. It looked like a fake pigeon.
All right.
It looked like a fake pigeon.
I mean, maybe that's what they were going for.
Looked like a Nike ID.
Beams Meta New Balance 850. You ain't copping.
I like them though. I like how you could take the shroud off. I like that.
Does it even have laces?
Yeah, you take the little shroud off there under. I like that.
Nah, sucks.
Now, I mean, a monotone gray is. I mean, come on. The only monotone gray shoe I like is PS Public School 12s. That's it.
Done with shoes coming out, but since you and Simple were talking about it, Ronnie Figs.
Fam, I need.
Did you
those.
see the thing he tweeted? It might have been on IG too, but you see the thing he tweeted where it was like he was taking a picture of the lookbook.
Yeah.
And there's more colors of that other version of the New Balance than the 3.
the like whatever that has that whatever sole that is
trail sole or whatever.
fire. And that's
The blue
shoe-
ones suck, but the
No,
other
no,
ones,
no,
yeah, they
fire
do.
too. No, because that's the shoe I was trying to describe when we were talking to Kristen Black, and I was saying her and Mike from the camp out were wearing those. I said those. Every time I see them wear them, I want those. Those colorways that Ronnie got coming out,
like the pink
fire.
and whatever else look dope. The blue sucks.
The blue, no, it's fire.
No, it sucks.
Okay, trust me. Yeah, trust me.
I mean, well, I have 2 eyes. Well, I need to trust you
No,
on.
trust me. Trust me. When you see the hand, trust me.
What are you talking about?
When you see it, trust me.
I assume you have the NFL games, though. I mean, I have to double check. I have to correct you on
I
when
do
you say
have
like.
them. No, I got it right this time.
No, well, I'll be the judge.
You want to make NFL picks?
What else are we gonna do? I mean, the show's over pretty much.
No, I mean, like, are you ready? I know you have more to say or nothing like that.
No, I just brought it up because we were doing releases, and I was like, "Oh, that Ronnie."
I
came out.
need that 3, and I need one of those other ones.
I hope that 3. Okay, so when I went there to look for it to send it to Jay, there's pictures from June where it looks completely different, and it looks trash. Then there's those new pictures, and that better not be Photoshop. That better be a real shoe.
You copping the 3?
Because if it looks like if it looks like the first one, bruh, go look at the pictures.
The one I posted, are you copping it?
Which one?
The white one.
You posted a 3 on Instagram?
And not the Jordan 3. I'm talking about the sorry, my bad. I'm talking about the
Ronnie
ASIC
Five?
3. Yeah.
I'm gonna try to because it'll resell, but I'm not gonna wear
Oh,
it.
come on.
If you want me to try for a 9.5, I'll try for a 9.5.
you try for 9.5, 10,
don't
10.5, 11, 11.5, 12. I need all of them. No?
If I don't get a
Just in case I
9.5,
grow.
I'm keeping it and selling it.
Just in case my foot grow. I need
Yeah,
all
okay.
of them.
Yes, you're gonna grow it. 47.
I definitely need those. 47, yes. Let's do NFL picks. You ready?
You got the list.
got the list.
I'm just verifying.
Rams, Seahawks. This is week 5. The season is at week 5. It's depressing.
Oh, it's Thursday night. I was like, where is that game?
Yeah.
I think Rams bounce back. I don't see them, even though Goff, if you look at the numbers, has been bad since about even though he went to the Super Bowl last year, he's been bad since about week 9 or 10 last season, which is like, I guess when teams finally start kind of catching up with your schemes after you put enough stuff on tape. What the Bucks did, I watched like a thing. Who's the Bucks defensive coordinator? No, Jets old coach.
Yeah, not Harbaugh.
No, his name Knowles, but I don't know if
Used
that's
to coach
Bowles. Todd Bowles.
Used to coach
Doles,
Todd
Holes,
Bowles. I think. Is it Todd Bowles? He's the coach of Cardinals. or be the Cardinals coordinator.
He was the Jets head
whatever
coach
his name is.
last
Yeah,
year.
he was.
He's trash. He's a good defensive coordinator. Fantastic defensive coordinator. What they were saying in the like video breakdown thing I was looking at, they were like disguising. I mean, it's probably gonna sound stupid because NFL teams are trying to disguise defense, but they would have someone run with the guy who's in motion to disguise like man to man, and then they would have like one of the defensive line. It was basically like a zone blitz. So the corner in slot would be in man, and the other guys would be in zone blitz. Someone would blitz, and someone from the line would drop back. And so Goff thought it was man to man, so he threw like a man to man route, and the dude jumped it. And I don't think it was a pick six, but whatever happened. But anyways, Doles, Holes, whatever his name
I
is,
think it's Todd Bowles.
got them balling.
Let me explain something to you. Last week's football, it was trash. Like, I mean, fam, my fantasy was absolutely.
I was at the D-backs
destroyed.
game. So Hannah, the place where we got, I got destroyed too. So the place, Hannah's family friend who we got the rings from, someone like one of Phil's friends or whatever wanted a recommendation for a jeweler, so we sent him there. So the jeweler gave Hannah the tickets. Bro, I think it was like, I mean, I've sat down there before, but it was right behind home plate, like row 8, 9, 10. So shout out to the jeweler, Coffin and Trout. It's in Chandler. If you're in Arizona, you need jewelry, go see Dean. Tell him George sent you. He'll take care of you. 100% legit. Like, they're not somebody who's gonna like take your ring in the back and like bring out a fake ring or some of the stuff that like jewelers are accused of doing. Anyways, he'll take care of you. But they gave us a ticket. Shout out to them. It was a 1-0 game. I don't think I've ever been to a baseball game where like we were talking about leaving before a run was scored. Now, granted, it was like San Diego and the D-backs.
Yeah.
Not a game I care about at all. But seats were nice. You can go down to the bar under home plate. I'm not sure how many people have ever sat down there. The seats are like comfortable because they're wider than the normal seats. You got more leg rooms. Crazy. Anyways,
I love sitting down there. Only done it twice.
I think Rams bounced back.
I got Rams too.
Seahawks offensive line is one of the worst in the league.
Jets, Eagles.
Eagles.
I'm gonna pick
by
Eagles.
14. I don't care if Darnold comes back or not. They're gonna get beat.
Jags, Panthers. I got Panthers. At
Panthers.
Vikes at Giants. I got Giants.
I'm gonna go Vikings, even though their offense is terrible.
It's trash. Huh?
Giants defense ain't no good though.
Falcons at Texans. I got a tie.
The two teams you hate
I
the
hate
most
both
in the entire
They're
world.
going to tie 13-13.
The Falcons might have the worst defense in the NFL.
Fan.
They might. It might have the worst defense in the NFL.
Matt Ryan threw for 53 times last week in 0 touchdowns. That should be physically possible. Like, you should accidentally be able to throw a touchdown to Julio Jones. Bruh, he's got to go.
Houston wins by default.
No, I got tie, so I'll give you Houston. Buccaneers at Saints.
Saints win.
I got Bucks.
Oh, speaking of which, I need to bring up, I'm not going to throw the Cowboys on the bus because, like, who was tagged us on Twitter and said, Sock Jig? Somebody had tagged and said, like, walking into the podcast. Okay, so if I came in here and was talking crazy about the Cowboys, it would reflect on me poorly because in previous weeks I said we don't know enough about them. So I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt in the opposite manner than I would in the past. But if they lose again this week, then the questions come out.
Okay, we play at home agaest the Packers.
I understand
that's
that.
Not an easy game. Now, we should have beat the Saints.
But that's the point.
But come on, man. Going into New Orleans on a night game, come on.
New Orleans is 12-1 at home against the spread against teams with winning records in the last 10 years or whatever. 12-1. They were 11-1 going to that game. You should have known better.
I got Bucks beating the Saints. All right.
Saints win.
Bills at Titans.
I mean, I don't think the Bucks are some like world-beating team now just because their defense is good and they got a little confidence. No. What was it? What was the one you said?
Bills at Titans.
This is going to be the most boring game of the week. The game is going to be like 11-10.
I got Titans.
I don't see how you can pick against the Titans.
At home.
They're at home. Yeah, I mean.
Cards at Bengals.
Oh, my God. Okay, so Bills-Titans is going to be the most boring game of the week. This game is going to be the worst game of the week.
Yeah, worst played.
Bengals win because
they have to.
What's the name going on the road and trying to play quarterback?
They have to.
Yeah, I don't get it.
Patriots at Redskins.
Pats. Come on, man.
Ravens at Steelers.
You want to talk about the team that might? I sent you that thing that said which franchises are the worst franchises in sports, and I still stand by the fact that I think 5 are worse than the Redskins, but it's close.
Oh, I hate the Redskins.
I know you hate them.
They are an awful organization. They are trash.
You're right, but we got Suns, Miami Marlins, the Raiders. Maybe the Redskins have surpassed the Raiders in worst.
They've definitely surpassed
the Raiders. Knicks. And what was the other one? There was one more that I had put on that list. There's 5.
There's a lot. Ravens at Steelers. I got Steelers.
Nah. Nope. Ravens.
Okay. Bears at Raiders.
Quarterback play, fam.
I got Bears.
Trubisky's
out, but I got Bears.
I think him being out is better for them because I think their backup is better.
Chase Daniels is good.
Man, that's in England. I mean, I'm going to pick the Raiders just to be contrarian because it's in England. So who knows?
Broncos.
Mac might have 10 sacks.
Broncos at Chargers.
Chargers. Broncos start 0-5 is crazy.
I got Packers at Cowboys. I got Cowboys.
I want to pick the Cowboys to win because they're at home, but it's not going to be easy, obviously.
Colts at Chiefs.
Chiefs, come on.
Browns at Niners.
Niners.
I got Niners too. I don't think they're that good, but I'm gonna go with Niners.
Their defense is good.
All right. Well, those are NFL picks this week. You want to say anything about the Dodgers?
Go Dodgers, win the World Series.
Dodgers,
Or
I should say a prayer for them. I'm about to say a prayer for them. Though. You should bow your head. You want to hold my hand? I'm not even joking, though. I'm about to say a prayer for them. That's actually in the podcast. I got nothing else. We can end this in the Dodgers World Series prayer.
Funny.
I know George doesn't go with this, but we're going to pray for the Dodgers. Dear Heavenly Father, I come to you as a humble podcast host. I need you to protect the elbows of Kershaw. I need you to wrap your arms around the bat of Bellinger. Pause. I need you to get this World Series win for the Dodgers. I'm coming on behalf of Skate the Great, Ruby Red, myself, and George. George is my best friend, all right? I'm not buying him anything for his birthday or Christmas, so I feel like this is the least I can do. Bro. So please bless the Dodgers with a World Series win this year. This will be their 3rd time. I ask of you, Father, Lord Jesus. Also, please do not bother Tommy Lasorda yet. We still love him.
Goat.com/Dodgers.
But, Lord, if you can, let's get this World Series. Amen. Anything else, George?
That's it.
On May 18th, 2019, I had an appointment at Nike Bespoke Lab at 21 Mercer. Before my appointment, I stopped by a few times to go through the materials, go home and put my ideas into colors and patterns. I had to learn very fast where I was going to draw inspiration from. I've been a lifelong sneakerhead, and in some way I wanted to balance my favorite shoes with some of the things that meant the most to me. After I figured out how I would be able to pay for it, I came out with a plan to tie back into my music. So first thing I did was I found the logo for my 12th album, The Crown, and at that point I was probably 30% done with the album. My appointment was about 4 hours. Most of it was just me being frustrated about just how to match the colors with the way they were in my head. 4 different versions of the shoe before we then just had lunch, and then it all came together. And as far as the materials go, I chose denim because, making my first trips to Soho as a teen, washed denim was always the best option for your kicks, way before the jogger era. I chose the floral vamp because it felt like I was the rose that came out the concrete a lot of times in most situations. The salmon colors because of my pescatarian lifestyle. Red tongue because that was just my favorite color growing up. The baby blue was the closest I could get to the Invisible Woman Air Force One, which was like the one that just did it for me growing up, being a sneakerhead. Royal blue and checkered flag for Nip Hussle the Great. Zebra check because of the Safari Atmos Air Max 1. And the zebra looked like a checkered flag, distorted from the angle. Embroidered number 12, for my 12th album. And then the laser engraved Forever on Some Fly, dedicated to Nip Hussle the Great also. I've been using that on my merch for a while now, just to pay tribute to him, just while even give him his flowers while he was still here. Also engraved Crown for the album. green sock lining for the street signs in the Bronx, yellow outsole just to give it a nice finishing touch. I use cork insoles inspired by the LeBron X EXT. All my albums listed on one of the insoles, and then on the other insole was my mom and pop's names, the streets I lived on, the schools I went to, and Jason and Dean, just because the designers never get enough credit. My son's name on one tongue in Yankee font because my son's name's Jeter. And on the other tongue, my daughter's name is Andy. So I tried my best to put like a Toy Story font, Toy Story twist to it. And each tongue has lyrics inspired from my songs that were about both my kids. One is my blessing ain't famous, it changed the world. Never thought I'd have a son, and then I had a girl. And then the other reads, my daughter's my queen, my son is my junior. Both can have the world, I'm trying to give him it sooner. So that's pretty much, those are my biggest influences for the shoe. And, then going into production, I had to recolor the flower. You gotta make it 6 colors for, when you're making patches or just anything that usually involves printing. So I had to get down to 6 colors. So I chose the purple, because that was my kid's mom's favorite color. Gave her a little input on it. Yeah, one of the things that I wanted the most was like my own shoe line or collab or anything. So just in the process of making this one, I had the thought process just to simulate a real sneaker rollout, showcase the energy and just put on display that on an independent level that, not everybody that has popularity has a demand, and just kind of separate myself, just show like marketing genius and just show a lot of different attributes that, can, be helpful in just a lot of different things as far as consulting in the future or just whatever it may be. So the first idea I had was to make pens. Of course I reached out to the homie Trippy Pens, and after that, then I got the cards made on like Vistaprint, and then I got the stickers, and I reached out to get shirts, and this one took me a while to get the custom box, but I just knew that the custom box would be like a finishing touch. And with the album date approaching, it was nerve-wracking because like I said, the sneaker was supposed to tie back into the music. So as I waited for the shoe, and I had put so much into the sneaker, it was like the music still had to grow a life of its own. And I just knew that if everything was executed the right way, that they'll both align in just some way. And when the sneaker finally came, I wanted to get some lifestyle like stock images. I reached out to Air Jordan K on IG, who takes amazing product pictures, and my boy Phil Matthews, who's I've known since high school, I think 9th or 10th grade, who I credit the most with my rebrand, just because the pics he takes of me, it really helped me get my engagement to the next level. And my finishing touch for my rollout was, I knew it was a chance that I'll attend, Nike campus somehow in the summer. So I wanted to make sure I brought the shoe, show a couple homies. And, at the same time as if I debuted it on those grounds, it'll really show a lot of initiative. It'll show like how serious I am about, product and attention to detail and stuff like that. And, here we have it. The finishing touch, Air J Tips. Many to come.